Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in November 2020. What is going on, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, 2020, it is almost over. It is almost a wrap. How are you feeling? Hopefully you're feeling good. Wherever you are in the world right now, Aquarius, I hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and secure. Please continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love. 2020 is still very much doing its thing. So if you're happening to, if you will, I can't even talk. If you will be celebrating, there you go, the holiday at the end of the month, Thanksgiving, here in the States or anywhere else in the world, please take precautions if you're going to be getting together with friends and family, as again, it's still very much a pandemic outside, guys. And again, I just hope everything in your life is going swimmingly because, you know, why wish ill will on anybody? And so it just doesn't make sense to me. But let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. No other announcements. So anything you want from me already, Aquarius, it is in the description box. Timestamp is down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading is also down there. If you have a question before you place an order for a personal, just email me at the same address. I'll answer you as soon as I can. If you're interested in giving a donation to the channel, you can use the Cash App link or the PayPal link below. It is never expected, but it is always appreciated. I don't ask. I just provide the information in case you have the inclination, okay? And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is EmpathicFire Tarot over there, and there is a link to my page down below for quick and easy access. Alright guys, let's get into it. I want to see the outcome for Aquarius in November 2020. I'm not going to take that because I didn't really begin, but it fell way in there. So, come here, you. Come here. Come here. Oh my god, it like really got in there. Okay. That's interesting, though. I will mention this because I did mention you guys in their reading. If you are dealing with a Capricorn, that's their card, the Devil card, so it might be worth it to watch their reading, but you don't have to. And again, that wasn't like, you know, the card that we're going to take. If it ends up coming back out for your outcome, that would be interesting, but you might be dealing with a Capricorn or just some general issues around attachment. Maybe you really, really love cheesecake. I don't know. But let's try that again. For the outcome, please, for Aquarius, please show me. In November 2020, outcome for Aquarius. In November 2020, please show me. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And we're going to take it like that. We'll flip what came face down. Oh my. Oh, I saw that in the pre-shuffle. Interesting. Okay. A little bit of a tight fit. I don't remember these cards being this large, but I guess they are. Alright guys, let's get into it. Please show me where Aquarius is in November 2020. Aquarius in November 2020, please show me. Okay. We got there. Took a minute, but we got there. Aquarius, coming into November, you come in with the energy of the Ten of Swords. Okay. Playtime is over. Yeah. Not a fan of what's transpiring or what has transpired in your life. I feel some of you are feeling deeply betrayed by someone. Stabbed in the back, left for dead, all that good stuff. Or there's just like a sour, bitter memory you have of a person. Because what do we see here? We see our good friend Dorothy. And the swords, she has placed them in a photograph of her ex-husband Stan, for those who don't really know Golden Girls, but that person in the in the photograph is her ex-husband. So some of you, maybe that's how you feel about an ex of yours, whether you were ever married or not, I don't know. But and okay, so also, as much as like that's a very pointed uh, action to take, look at her face. She kind of looks worried, or she looks, sad or something like that. So there's like a sad anger or an angry sadness that you're experiencing. Now, I'm saying you. This is a general. It could go the other way, Aquarius. This could be someone that you're dealing with. But it feels very like looking back at something. Like I'm feeling like a lot of reflection. I'm feeling like a lot of remembering of what has transpired and not being happy with what you remember overall. Like, sure, there might have been happy times in a particular connection, whether it was romantic or not. Could be friends, could be family. Whether it was not even a connection with a person, maybe it was a connection with a certain phase in your life. Maybe you had a job to speak of that you were had a long tenure with. Something where overall it's like, okay, maybe because it's fresh in some of your minds, or the, I mean, I think it's been pretty obvious. I'm talking about a considerable ending in your life. Maybe some of you really feel like it happened yesterday. Maybe it literally did in some of your cases, maybe. If not, it feels that way, right? And I just feel like because it's so fresh in your mind, fresh in your emotions, maybe you've been reminiscing on it, and it, even if it happened years ago, it feels like yesterday, whatever. I think the fresh wounding feel of it is what doesn't allow you or whoever this is to truly come at this from a place of peace. I feel there's hurt feelings. I feel that there's disrupted peace. There is no fondness, even though maybe it wasn't all that bad, you know, assuming it's not a terrible relationship, because we did see the devil flip out before we got to our outcome. So maybe for some of you, this was a toxic relationship or a toxic situation where really there was no joy to be had. So there is no reason to look back with fondness. But in some of your cases, it wasn't toxic per se. It might have had its troubles or its ups and downs and all of that. But I feel the big takeaway that you or someone is really focused on is like the bad parts of it. Now, you have your reasons, or this person has their reasons. I'm not here to say, try to put a smile on, or put, it feels reasoned, like this person has their reason. And and I think as the outside person, the reader of this energy, I would caution this person to just don't stay there very long in whatever this is, this upset feeling, this angry sadness, or this sad anger. Don't stay there very long, okay? Even if it's fresh, okay? I understand if it happened yesterday, last week, 14 days ago, 28 days ago, however many days ago it may have happened. Don't stay there very long, okay? Because it's not going to make it, it's not going to start the healing process, because that's really what the Ten of Swords is meant to signal, is that something has ended. We are meant to sort of take any lessons, grow from it, try to reach some type of peace with it, even if it hurts, even if we feel we were betrayed, stabbed in the back, left for dead, all those things. To eventually release that energy is the goal with the Ten of Swords, because tens are culmination points. We move from the 10 back down to the ace, and we start our journey all over again, going from the ace to the 2 to 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, all of that, right? When you linger in the Ten of Swords, you can't get a reset, or you can't get started again, right? And I'm not trying to blame whoever this belongs to or any of that. I just feel like you're delaying your own healing. You're delaying your own turn for the better when you reflect. Because again, what Dorothy did in that image is she stabbed the photograph. Like, so she's stabbing and putting 10 swords into the memory of something. Again, this could be fresh that this is unfolding for some of you, but the actual person, situation, relationship, connection, what have you, that perhaps it's like not even current. Like, let's say it this way, and this is just an example. That's her ex-husband Stan. In the show The Golden Girls, Dorothy dates several men and she's interested in other men, but her husband, or excuse me, her ex-husband Stan is still a part of her life and still kind of vexes her in the show. So maybe that's what's going on for some of you. Like, you've moved on. You might be in new relationships or you might be at a new job, but you have people or circumstances, responsibilities, obligations, what have you, other connections that draw you back towards that person or that situation or circumstance that you actually have wanted to release, that you've wanted to get away from, but you can't because you're still entangled in some type of way. Devil card that fell out in the beginning. Entanglements. Doesn't even have to be toxic, just entanglements. That's one of the things that happens with that devil energy. So that might play for some of you. Now, what else happens for Aquarius? Please show me. Yeah, okay. All right. So you're okay, somebody here is like super guarded. Well, maybe not guarded, but like, what's wrong with my eye? Ah, Jesus. Aquarius, it looks like you're going to go through like a come up. And you're very, I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be problems with you trying to do this. Like, I feel you want to let things go, but you can't let things go because it's too entangled, things like that. So let's sort this out, please. Where is this coming from? Yeah, so I feel like you want to sort things out. You want to get on your own business, get on with your life, or, you know, make headway in some type of, some sense. You want to make headway, right? But this Five of Wands, as you can see, is a card of competition, is a card of fierce embattlement. Like, each of our golden girls is like ready to play ball here, or ready to roll these balls down the lane to win the competition. So you might say in a situation, I just want to move on, or I just want to forget this, because again, I feel that's coming through with the Ten of Swords. You want to forget this. You want to be over it. But I feel you're entangled with people, friends, family, lovers, business partners, what have you, who just won't let you let it go. Does that make sense? Yes, because that's what Five of Wands is about. It's about petty arguments. It's about competition. It's about people wanting to get the best out of you, or even get a rise out of you, or, you know, come over here and say that to my face kind of energy. Now, I hope that's not what someone's saying to you. Come and say it to my face. Like, really antagonistic is what. Thank you. Some of you are deeply involved with people who are antagonizing you, like, dare I say, teasing or bullying you. And this channel is not meant for children, okay? I look at my analytics, and most people who watch this, I have never seen anyone under the age of 18, or at least the accounts associated with people who are under the age of 18 watch my videos. So who the fuck, no offense, is bullying as an adult? Ridiculous, alright? But that's what this feels like. It feels like people are kind of like trying to egg you on or get you roped into some drama. And you're just like, I don't want to be involved in drama. Which, again, going back to the Ten of Swords and the image that's depicted there, putting 10 swords into the picture of her ex-husband, our good friend Dorothy, I don't want to be having this man in my life. Or it doesn't, you know, again, that's specific to Dorothy. Whoever we're talking about, whether it's your ex-husband, your ex-wife, your ex-friend, you know, someone from your family that you've lost contact with, or you're kind of estranged from, but every once in a while, here they come rolling into your life. And I mean, this is a reading that I'm doing for the month of November, so maybe you will be coming into contact with people due to the holidays that you don't normally come into contact with. And as soon as you step foot in the house, or as soon as you log on to the Zoom chat, if you're going to do a distance Thanksgiving or a distance Christmas holiday or whatever it is, as soon as you log on, hey Aquarius, I bet you can't, blah, blah, blah. Hey Aquarius, what are you wearing? Like, all this needling and like bullshit. Ugh. And I think it's like competitive in some of your cases, because again, what we see here is four people about to do a game of bowling. So I feel like someone like wants to best you, like they want to prove that they're better than you in some type of way. Like this is not my family, but I've seen it, and I've gone to other people's family gatherings where like cousins or like siblings will like arm wrestle. Or okay, the way I see it in my family is like we get competitive in like games and stuff. So like when we get together in holidays, there might be like card games going on, there might be even like a board game or like a trivia game or something going on, and like that's how we compete. But other people in other families, it's like a physical thing, like see me outside, catch me outside, how about that? What? For what? What the hell is that about? Why? Now, I'm getting this centered around a lot of family. This could extend to friendships. But in other cases, this is like, it is competition in your work or in your school. For some of you, like some of you are students, or you're in some type of like creative competition, and that kind of, in that sense where it's like, one person can be the winner, or one person can win the scholarship, or one person is going to be deemed the best, engineer coming out of MIT or something. I don't know if that stuff exists, but in those cases, it feels more quote unquote correct, because that's the name of the game, or that's like the nature of the beast. If you're in a competition, if you're in a competitive field in your job, and like the best salesperson gets a bonus, or the best this person gets qualifies for this, and then they get a vacation, whatever, that makes sense. But regardless of where this is in your life, Aquarius, I feel you don't want any fucking parts of it. Truly, I feel you have bigger fish to fry, or your energy just isn't aligned with this. Again, because one of the one of the traditional definitions of this is petty arguments, petty fights. Like, you don't have to put your energy here, but people rope you into it, or the circumstance at hand is what ropes you into it. It's like the price you must pay for admission is to be competitive with these people in this place, in this business, in this school, right? In this, maybe that's also how it is. To be a part of this family, you gotta compete to that would be shitty. Like, to be even like, from where you're standing, Aquarius, you might take it as, even to be loved, I have to compete. I have to compete for love and affection amongst my family members. Like, again, I'm sensing like getting together with family and like, arm wrestling, or like really aggressive behavior, or what could be deemed as aggressive behavior, even though to other people it might be simply playful. To other people, if it was you, Aquarius, or someone else who might be more sensitive, who just isn't into all that ruckus, all that, rough housing and stuff, and it's just like not the same to that person, or these types of people, where to get into like playful, like boxing matches. Like, again, I've seen it. I've gone to people's houses and their family gatherings, and I'm just like, this is what y'all do? This is how you bond? Okay, not where I come from, but all right, that's what you're into? Cool. I respect it, but I understand how that can be off-putting to other people, especially if you're related to those people, or you're in some type of connection with those people. I don't like roughhousing, but this is the price you pay, or the cost of admittance. This is the way that you're supposed to show your love and bond with people. In some cases, just a few, this is like a very like masculine thing. And if you're an Aquarian male and you're not into these more, masculine ways, quote unquote masculine ways of displaying affection or being in competition with people, if you're not that type, you're like an outsider. Okay? Now, before we move on, I am going to go right back to it because I think that is coming up for several of you. Again, the image in the Ten of Swords is she has placed those swords into a picture of her ex. A lot of you have an ex that just won't go away. Whether or not, entanglement, okay. You could have children with this person. You could still be married to this person technically on paper. You could have, property or businesses together, whatever. There's a reason this ex is still in your life. And that reason, I don't think is going to go away anytime soon, or it's not going to go away easily. And that's why that's why they come around and agitate you. Because that's the other thing I'm feeling with this Five of Wands. Whoever is not wanting to do it is highly agitated that they have to do it. They don't want to, but they're dragged into it. They don't want to, but in order to get along with everybody, this is the way the group wants to do it. And Aquarius, you don't like that anyway. You're super independent. So what the group wants is normally not what Aquarius wants. And I think your natural inclination as an archetype of Aquarian energy is to be very individualistic, to be very independent, and group mentality is not your bag. But you're dealing with people who are very do what the group says, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. So let's see what else happened. Yeah, I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. Page of Swords. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could be you. It could be an air sign. It could be an earth sign. I don't care. But whoever this is, I don't want to do that. And that is like, whether this is you or someone else, I think it is you, Aquarius. I mean, it is your suit, so it kind of feels very heavily like you. But again, it could be someone else. And again, this is a general. It could be vice versa. You could be witnessing, your little cousin go through this. Like, you could have lived that life, growing up roughhousing, and that's still what your family's all about. And then when you go home, you see your cousin suffering. You're like, I walked that road. And most of you will probably step in and help that person. But and that kind of makes sense because this is a page, right? And pages represent children or younger energies. So they don't have to be, a child, but they could be like a young adult. They could be like a teenager or like someone in their early 20s, But this page, as you can see, is pretty apprehensive, if not totally defensive. However, it's not the strongest pose. Like, Dorothy's face is pretty like, I'm serious, but the way, I'm not a professional, obviously, but I'm not sure that holding a sword like that is the best pose, is the best way to strike a defensive posture. But the intention to be defensive, the intention to, if she had to swing that sword and hold people back, get away from me, don't come near me, like that might be the pose that you take, even though it might not be the most successful or strongest stance that you could take. But the intention of being left alone is kind of how it is. Like, leave me alone, batting people away, batting energy away. If this is not about like actual physical relationships that you have where you're meeting up with people, going to work every day and having to endure like some, bullshit rough housing amongst your coworkers, whatever, that's, ugh. I mean, maybe it works in certain industries, but I'll be damned if I showed up to my office and somebody challenges me to an arm wrestling contest. Anyway, if that is just like, get away from me is kind of this energy. I don't want to participate in that. I don't want to be a part of this. There's just this, I want to stand alone, be on my own, do things my way, this is swords, right? Swords are about mental capacities and the ways that we rationalize the world and the ways in which we communicate and all that good stuff. So I feel like there's this not even reluctant. It's really like black sheep, ostracized. I'm by myself. Nobody else thinks like me. Nobody else communicates like me. And the pages are all students. So again, going back to school, some of you might be in a school. It's very competitive, or your program is very competitive. You could be an athlete. And I'm not one, so I don't mean to criticize, but I tend to notice there is sort of like this mentality within sports minded people or athletic people, that especially team sports, where, you know, one for all for one kind of thing, three musketeers, and we all have to think and value the same things, and socialize the same way, and you know, to totally stereotype. I know it's a stereotype, and I'm not trying to say this is always the way, but like, you know, at least when I was in school and in college, the college I went to is a very big university, and the sports program is like one of the biggest things that people care about, blah, blah, blah. And there's like a lot of permissibility that athletes get. Like, they get passed in classes, even though they might not be performing in classes, because they have a scholarship and they're supposed to play basketball, or they're supposed to play football, or they're supposed to play, you know, volleyball, or whatever the hell it is for the university, you know? And so there's this person or this energy that says that's not even cool. Like, we should all be like, the way this is going, whatever is perceived as normal is not cool. It's not cool to be like that. And to stereotype even further, there's a lot of stereotypes about athletes in terms of like, you know, that party culture that goes on behind closed doors, that goes on off campus, you know, and it even floats up to professional athletes, you know, whether it be NFL, NBA, NHL, I don't care. There's like this, again, permissibility, and the Page of Swords is like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't get down like that. Now, the trouble here is that this page is a page. They are not in a position of power. Their voice might be drowned out because it's just a page. The hierarchy in the court cards are page, knight, queen, king. And so this person might be vocal but not have a strong platform, might have a lot of opinions but maybe doesn't express them, or at least might struggle to express them effectively. Okay. Even like the sword she's holding, it's pretty short. Because, I mean, again, Dorothy, our good friend Dorothy, played by B. Arthur, was a tall lady. That sword looks really short and stumpy. Like, I'm assuming it's not to scale, or it's not the appropriate size for a person of her stature, right? So there's something here where there might be disagreement, and there might be protest, and there might be calls for, hey, I don't agree with this, but people don't hear it. People don't listen. Or it's just not expressed, again, strongly or as articulately as another person could do it. The page is, again, sort of finding their way. And maybe that's what's going on, Aquarius. Again, going back to the family thing. Maybe you're 30, 40, 50 years old, and you've always just kind of taken what your family dishes out, taken what, you know, people at your job take, or what they dish out to you, and you just have never complained, or you've never spoken up about it. And now something has changed in your life. There's a breaking point where you're just tired of it, and you're going to start vocalizing. But because you've never done it before, you are just learning. So you can be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and be in page energy, okay? It's not just for children, or it's not just for, you know, quote unquote young people, okay? Anything else? Yeah, that's the other thing. They keep drawing me back to this like ex situation. So for those where you do have an ex, whether it's a marriage ex, a divorced ex, or whatever, or just like somebody you broke up with and you guys only dated a couple of months, the entanglement that that person has with you, because again, that devil card flipped out at the start of the reading, you might have never told that person no. Again, going back to that devil energy, setting up boundaries, creating boundaries within a possibly codependent relationship. This is the first time you've told that person, no, you can't come over. Even though, you know, you guys have been in this hit back situation, what I call a hit back situation, where maybe you broke up and you're technically not together, but maybe you like to get together every once in a while on the weekend. You know what I mean? Maybe you just need a little creature comforts, or a little bit of a big spoon, little spoon for a little bit, with a little hump in the middle. Okay, whatever. And that person might be used to you always opening your door to them. And now you say, no, I don't really want you to come in my door anymore. I don't want you on my property. I don't want you here. I want you to stay away from me. Maybe since this is swords, you don't communicate with them anymore, or you're very restrictive in your communication, and they don't like that. Again, they want to rope you in with the Five of Wands. So the intention is there, but the execution might not be great because, again, it's a page. Now, what else happens? Okay, suddenly things go... Well, something done happen. Something done happened. Oh, yeah. Yes! Damn! I dropped that. Hold on. I gotta move everything out of the way now. Jesus Christ. Get over here. That went really... 1 second. That went really far. Alright, Aquarius, I apologize about that. This fell way further away than I thought it did. Anyway, so something happens. Another 10. Where you've just, like, had enough. You've reached your limits, and this is like a... I don't want to say it's a shock. I don't think it's a shock. I think it's just like a very strong wake-up call to you that, you know what? Maybe make a promise to yourself, some of you. Like, you might say to yourself, the next time that happens, they say that, this is proposed to me, this is suggested to me, I'm going to say no. Or I'm going to, that's going to be the breaking point. Or it just happens, and you maybe you don't even make a promise. Maybe just, again, I did say that. Not that it's a shock, but just like, that cliched phrase. The straw that breaks the camel's back. In this case, the wand that breaks Sophia's back. It could be, again, because people may have been used to you being kind of permissible, or it's always been this way, and Aquarius never said anything, or this is the tradition, this is how we show our affection in the family, this is how things have always been, and now the time when that event happens, or the thing is said, or the thing is done, and you just kind of snap. Some of you will legit, if you haven't done it already, you might just legit snap and be like, nah, man, that's it. That's the straw. The back is broken. Okay? It's burdensome, and the reason it is snapping, or you're snapping, or the back is breaking, is because this has been burdensome to you. And so, oh, interesting. Some of you have been holding a secret, and it's like relative to, wow, that like just came in and like totally took away whatever the hell I was about to say. Some of you have been holding a secret from friends or family, I should say. And this secret is the burden. And under questioning, Five of Wands, in the middle of competition, in the middle, again, of teasing or bullying, and it can be playful, teasing. I don't think bullying can be playful, but playful teasing. There could just be a moment where you're just like, enough. Stop saying that, or stop asking me this, or stop insinuating blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter is, and then fill in the blank. That's very interesting. And Ten of Wands is not about secret keeping. That's not one of the traditional understandings of this card. But I feel for some of you, that's what happens. Someone like keeps pressing your buttons, possibly making assumptions about you or presuming things about you. That'd be interesting. I mean, I'm just going to pull this because I don't think this is, quote unquote, the secret. I don't know what your secret is. I'm not trying to find out. But I feel like some of you, like, the secret is that you are not with the ex, but people still press on you. Like, oh, you and the ex, you and the ex, you and the ex. And maybe for some reason, you and the ex have kept up appearances. Like, oh, we're together for the sake of the family, for the sake of the kids. And maybe people are pressing. So when are you guys going to do this? How's this going? And blah, blah, blah. And what's going on over here? Blah, 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 blah. Under the presumption that the relationship is still on. But you're just like, enough. It's not on. That relationship, it's over. And people are shocked, or people are, maybe they don't believe you. Maybe they kind of push back on you with the Five of Wands. That can't be true, because if that was true, how come XYZ? How come this? How come that? Blah, 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 blah. If you guys really weren't together, if you guys really weren't a couple, well, why would you allow this to happen? And et cetera, et cetera. Wow, that's very strong coming through. That this secret is revealed, and the revelation or the bringing out of a secret is a releasing of a burden. Because that's really what we're talking about, is that you've quietly been thinking, if not expressing. Maybe you've been dropping hints with the Page of Swords. Maybe you've been dropping hints, trying to tell people, look, me and Stanley, going back to our good friend Dorothy, me and Stanley aren't together. You might have been trying to drop hints to people, friends, family, whoever, even the kids. And I don't know that you would, snap on your kids, but maybe you do. I don't know. I don't have children, so I don't know what you're supposed. I'm being kind of facetious. I do know how to treat kids, but I don't know how people choose to raise their own children. But, it could be, like you snap, and it's just like, me and Stanley aren't together, period. And that's the revelation. And that's the release of the burden. Because for some reason, your friends, your family just assumed you and Stanley were still on. And I say Stanley only because that's what's in the card. We could be talking about Staniela. It doesn't have to be a woman is revealing some secret, or a woman is, releasing her burden. You could be a man. You could be two men. You could be two women. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to get back to what the other message was, because for some of you, this isn't about a secret. It really is just about constantly being pestered and constantly feeling harassed in some type of way. And we all have our breaking points. Maybe going back to the college thing, for those where that's your storyline, because there are some young people that watch tarot. Maybe there's hazing going on in a sports program, or there's some type of rite of passage, quote unquote, that people are saying you must do, and you're kind of like, that's stupid, I'm not doing that. You can go somewhere with your bullshit. The Ten of Wands is just they're both done. I gotta tell you that. These two tens are culmination points. This is energy of wanting to be released, of not wanting to suffer, not wanting to be in emotional pain, or excuse me, in spiritual pain, sometimes emotional pain with the wands, and also mental pain, mental confliction, wanting to be released of that. Maybe some of you, if you are in an athletic program or in some type of competition, maybe you want to be released from the competition. You want to annul your contract. Okay? So something has to give. And I feel the page, and that could also make sense, going very quickly, and then we're going to move on, with the ending of a contract. And it doesn't have to be within college or some competition. This could be a contract in your work. Maybe you're under contract for 2 years and you're just like, all right, so I've been in this thing 18 months. That's enough. And, you could, maybe there's repercussions. Maybe people are, whatever. The Page of Swords would be studying, trying to find a way out. This page, going back to them just for a second, this Page of Swords energy, spy energy is also, to me, I don't want to say sneaky energy, but investigative. It's investigative, right? And trying to figure out the safest, most clever, most, free, no blood on the hands, possibly amicable way to get to a certain solution or a certain resolution. Okay. So that could be looking at the terms, maybe taking a contract and, getting it read over by an external lawyer, or your own personal lawyer, something like that. This could be, I mean, it's kind of very much in the ether of the community. This could be, you unofficially diagnosing members of your family, being like, okay, so My dad is a total narcissist, and my brothers and my older cousins and my aunties and my uncles, they're also, narcissist juniors or whatever. It's just like you're looking at your family or you're looking at your friends and you're looking at their personality types and you're understanding, like, from a psychological perspective, where they come from, or what their MO is, you know what I mean? Um Again, that's not me saying yay, do that. I just know that's what people do. Maybe I'll do it myself. But so the page is like, again, student seeking knowledge, trying to find ways to get to a certain resolution or solution, and doing it in a quiet way, in a secretive or very hush hush, quiet, investigative way. Okay, so but where we left off was the Ten of Wands. So something breaks, and after the break, rise, Queen Dorothy. So here we go, have the Queen of Swords. So this is, again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could be a glow up for you personally, or specifically in the situation. You may have been the page at some point previous, and you might now be stepping into Queen of Swords energy. So a total upgrade from the page to the sword, or excuse me, from the page to the queens. Multiple queens, queen. Anyway, if it's not you specifically, Aquarius, again, it could be a fellow air sign, but it doesn't have to be. This is you getting into contact with, becoming partners with, perhaps. Becoming partners with a particular person that fits this bill. Queen of Swords, no nonsense, says what they mean, means what they say. No bullshit, no filler, just, shooting straight from the hip. And also because this sword, I don't know, now that she's seated, now that B. Arthur has taken a seat on her throne, the sword might be the literal same sword that the page was holding, but now that she's seated is just all the more appropriate to size. It seems to scale, right? But using that sword to kind of take people's heads off. Figuratively speaking, of course. Do not go around decapitating people. I think that goes without saying, but just in case. But it's really taking no prisoners and not holding back in thought, not holding back in expression, not holding back in the opinions that you hold, and what you feel is right or wrong, what you feel you deserve. Ooh, okay, here we go. We're jumping right into it. Queen of Swords, I mentioned in someone, I don't know who it was, but I know she came up as a figure in a previous reading, and I don't normally mention this aspect of her, so it must be true in the community that this Queen of Swords is a divorcee. Or Queen of Swords in general is a divorcee. So for some of you, this is you after your divorce. Maybe, that could be what's going on. Maybe you were playing nice, or whoever. It doesn't have to be you. Again, it's a general, could go the other way. But someone might have been playing nice because the divorce was not finalized. So because it wasn't final, maybe you or someone else didn't want to cause a kerfuffle, didn't want to speak too loudly, didn't want to go too against the grain of what the group think was, didn't want to push those buttons or push back on that sentiment, push back on that narrative. But now that the ink has dried and the paperwork is finalized, here comes the truth. Because that's the other thing, again, that the Queen of Swords brings to a situation. Barefaced truth. And the truth is, me and Stanley, again, with our good friend Dorothy, who's here like 3 times, so lots of swords energy. Me and Stanley, we're done. What? What do you mean? I just saw you guys last week at the farmer's market. Yeah, that was all fake. That was pretense, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you might not say it that way, but the Queen of Swords is going to tell you, well, it's not that anymore. And here's the reality of the situation. There is a little bit, if I'm honest, a little bit of bitterness here, but we kind of talked about that in the Ten of Swords. Like, not fully over this ending, or not really at peace yet with this ending. So the bitterness, not that I co-sign on it, not that I support it, I understand it. Because, again, if this is a situation that has gone on for a long time, pardon me, and someone has, like, just sort of gone along with it, against their better judgment or against their own desires, against their own sensibilities, which we talked about at length before, there would be a little bit of a, and now that that's over, let me tell you how I was not a fan. Let me tell you how this is toxic. Let me tell you how this person, that person, you, him, her, and all those other people over there, you're all narcissists, or you're all this, or you're all that. Like there's this giving people the business, giving people the verbal business with the Queen of Swords. I don't know that that's going to, quote unquote, help, but I feel it might be cathartic for somebody. Not saying I necessarily support it. Maybe I secretly do, because I like a little snap. I like a little snappy in people because okay, here's where I'm like, I'm kind of okay with it, because it does reveal a truth, a personal truth, especially if we're pushing back on people that have bullied us, or people that have teased us, or people that have been interfering in our relationships, or people who have been stepping over the lines, violating our boundaries, violating or pushing against our sensibilities. Just because you think it's okay to give, raspberries and playful punches to your cousins doesn't mean it's okay for me. Not everybody in this family, or not everybody in this collection of people feels the same way about things. And I'm going to stand here and say my truth. I'm going to stand here and declare that my sensibilities, my convictions, what I feel and think about things fucking matters. That's why I'm kind of okay with it. Even though it might not be the nicest thing to say. And I mean, the Queen of Swords doesn't really come into situations thinking, I'm going to be nice about this. The Queen of Swords goes in and is like, I'm just going to say what needs to be said. And if people get upset about it, well, that's the way the cookie will crumble, is it not? Now, final card in, okay, that makes sense. Final card in the main spread, not that this is an outcome, but I feel like this is sort of the after effect. I don't know about you. And, okay, maybe I'm going to tell y'all a little something about myself. When you let someone have it, not to hurt them. Let me preface this. Not to hurt other people. But when you tell people your truth, unbridled, just straight up, here's where I'm at, here's where I'm coming from, oh, how free you will be. Yeah? I did that. How many years ago now is it? 2 years? I think it was 2 years. Maybe it was last year. No, I think it was 2 years. Nope. I don't remember. But I had a big old truth bomb. Just pew, poof, and I let someone know what was going on in our relationship. How me and this person, how it just, the relationship that we had, the connection that we had, and I'm not talking romantic, by the way. This is a family connection that I'm talking about. I let that person know. From this day forth, that's it. From henceforth, here's what I'm going to be doing. And then that person was like, well, I don't agree with that. And my response was, you cannot agree. But for my sake, for my joy, for my happiness, for my contentment, this is what's going to happen. And this is how I felt. Almost immediately after doing that. And I feel there's something similar here for you guys, or whoever's experiencing this. Once this truth comes out, once the no offense to the camel, but once the camel's back is broken and we get to some type of resolution, or we seek some type of, I don't even want to say compromise, just like getting to the nitty gritty of things. Why did the camel's back break? Let me tell you, Susan, here's why. Let me tell you about yourself. Stephen, let me tell you about yourself. Brenda, Roberto, I don't care who you are, right? And it's not to cause pain to the other person. I mean, hopefully if you do it in quote unquote high vibe, your goal is not to hurt the person. Because going back to my own situation, and this is going to be the last time I mention it, in that conversation that I had, I told them, I love you. I'm just not going to be able to love you the way that you want me to love you. I can't be in your life the way you want me to be in your life because you don't show up in my life the way I need you to. and we're at an impasse. And when we're at an impasse, it doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean I dislike you. It doesn't mean I have, all this ill will towards you. I love you. I want you to be well. But the way that we get on right now, the way that you are, the way that I am, it's not going to mesh. So I'm going to let it go. And there's love in that message. I mean, maybe some people hear that and they're like, that sounds really cold. I've heard worse. I have heard and witnessed worse. Have even been told worse. Okay? When someone was declaring love to me, but then they said some awful shit right after, I've heard and been the receiver of worse. So, but that's what I feel is happening here, Aquarius. For you or someone else, this truth is a freeing sensation. I don't want to say immediate, but maybe it is immediate, because this is, by the way, this is a secondary major arcana for Leo, so you could be dealing with a Leo, but you don't have to be. But the sun is intense energy. It's bright. You cannot escape it. You can't mistake it. So I feel like it's very prominent. If not immediate, it's very prominent. I like it. Good for you. Outcome for November. Knight of Pentacles. So you might find yourself going off on a journey, solo dolo. And I feel like searching is something that I'm feeling here. I feel like maybe you're looking for some new stability. If this is like family or friends, and again, this is not me saying this is exactly what you're going to do or what you must do, but some of you might end up, distancing yourself from people. And so you might be looking for, quote unquote, a new home, whether it's an actual physical home. Since this is Pentacles, it can literally mean some of you are moving. Going back to that secret, maybe some of you with your Stanley, whether it's Stan or Staniella, I don't care what the gender of your ex is, but some of you, the secret could have been, or the I don't want to say misunderstanding, but and I don't want to say ruse, but maybe it was a ruse, that people were confused as to how you guys could be exes is because you live together, right? So some of you might be in search of a new home. I said that in Capricorn's rating. They had a new home situation. Ooh, if y'all are connecting with a Capricorn, that might make sense to you. Anyway, or you might find some things in that reading that are useful. Now, but I'm sensing that seeking. And you're seeking something tangible. You're seeking something physical. You're seeking something that is of weight, something of weight, like of value, with the pentacles in his hand, right? So some of you might be seeking a new home, a new job, and I quoted it earlier when I said home in quotations. You might actually stay where you are, wherever your residence is, but you might be seeking new home as in new people to congregate around, to bring into your life as a home, like the people in your lives, the connections that you call home. Maybe you're putting some distance between you and your blood relatives. And it doesn't even have to be, family, for me is both what you have and what you make, right? So I have family that I was born to, that was born to me, but then I also have family that I've created with friends that I treat like family. I actually call some of my friends my siblings. I have an adoptive brother, not literally, I just call them this. I have an adoptive brother and an adoptive sister. Totally not truly adopted, but that's what I call them. And so you could be seeking new relationships and people who are on your same level, but also bring value to your life or share your value. Again, Pentacles, what we value in this life. So going back to what I was saying about the Five of Wands, there could be like this sensitivity that you have in yourself, Aquarius, that wasn't ever really reflected or shared with your family, whether it's blood or not. And you're wanting that. I want to seek out people who are sensitive or people who have empathy and who possibly don't, want to make everything a competition. Like, I feel you're really tired of that. Like, there's just like a shedding of things that make us tired in this reading. Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, right? Overall energy, Aquarius, wonderful. Ace of Wands. So how about it? Let's get on with the new business. Let's get on with some fresh starts. Let's get on with some new inspiration and feeling more turned on. Oh, hey, turned on. And this is very phallic. So for some of you, very interesting. Very quickly, in that situation with the ex, the Stanley or the Staniela, whoever it is, right? Maybe you guys did have physical contact with each other, but it was like empty. Like, you see how clear, like, that hand is, trying to be, or is mimicking, like, it's invisible or it's clear, it's see-through. It's empty. It didn't mean anything. Just doing it to do it, Or, as can be the way, just doing it to keep their mouth shut. Just doing it to appease the person, right? So if you are stepping into new relationships, or you're getting back out there in the dating game, or whatever it is, I feel like you're looking for the real deal. You're looking to be more fulfilled. And again, that could be like really weird that, you stayed in a situation, you allowed someone to, or allowed people to think you were still in a relationship, and then you get into a new relationship. People are going to be really upset about that, or they're going to be really confused by that. But for you, Aquarius, it's going to feel like this. It's going to feel brand new, because again, it wasn't where you were, whether it was in a hit back situation with your ex, whether it was in like a, let's play happy families so that we can continue to put on this certain image. It was all empty. And now that that is done, as we discussed through the main reading, you're looking for the real deal. You're looking to connect with someone very passionately. And maybe it doesn't even have to be a specific person. You're just looking for passion, period. Okay? And if it's not about relationships, that sentiment of excitement, fulfillment, passion is still here. If you're leaving your hometown, if you're going to a Friendsgiving for the first time, maybe you've spent 38 years going to your family Thanksgiving, and that was always a shit show, and maybe 2020 is the first year where you're going to do Thanksgiving away from your parents' house, you're going to be like, no offense, your mind is going to be blown. Your fucking mind is going to be blown. Congratulations. I'm here for that. I like that. Who doesn't like a little mind blowing? But whatever, and okay, just to build on that, it's for many of you beyond a moment. You're not just looking for, like a one-off. It's not like, oh, the Friendsgiving, and then I'm never going to do something like this again. It's like, no, I'm going to a Friendsgiving, or I'm going to this certain event, or in some of your cases, again, attached to the Knight of Pentacles, I'm moving homes, or I'm going to a new job. And like, you want to build on that. The aces are the building blocks, the foundation of things. So it's very rare that an ace represents a wham bam situation, whether we're talking romantic, sexually, or otherwise. Okay? Aquarius, that is your reading for November. If you liked it, there's a like button down below. Hit it for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I love to read comments. Feel free to share. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would appreciate that oh so much. Aquarius, I will be back in a few weeks to do your mid-November readings. If you want to get at me for a personal reading in the meantime, feel free to find that information in the description box below. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.